Hello everyone, this is Angela Robinson here again with to talk about my consulting sales program that I made for my C++ Programming II class at University of Advancing Technology. This video I am going to talk to any developers that would be working with this program. Right now you'll see the main method program file open. A couple of things that you will should know is that I did use an external library, Boost. I use Boost Archive, Boost Serialization, and Boost Date Time. All three of those are obviously you can get at boost.org. But the serialization, at least, you do, it is one of their libraries that you do have to compile separately. You can get the directions on doing that at their website. The other files here I have is the other classes, which I have the two main parent classes is item and order. I don't actually reference those specifically in the main program. These are mainly just the parent classes. I did not make them abstract for the simple reason of in case during development in later times we do want to use them by themselves rather than using them just as an abstract class. But as you can see here, there is the Boost serialization. Of course, each class has their own, getters and setters, and but every single class that I made does have the display class. The item is the parent class for customer, project, and component. I did split these between the CPP and the H classes or files. So, but the customer class inherits, of course, the ID and the name from the item, and then adds address, phone, email, and a vector of projects. And then there's the component, which is used primarily for inventory, and they are the individual components that you add to a customer's project. So, and then the project and has three vectors added to it for the individual components, quotes that is generated, and of course the receipts that are generated for the customer to access. Now, the other parent class is order. Again, this could be an abstract class, but I did not make it an abstract class just for the simple reason of you may want to use this class on its own at a later date as this software progresses. Quote and receipt are both inherited from order. So the order has the ID, regular order ID, customer ID to link to which customer it uses, and the project ID for which project this order is for. And then the quotes add a price for the whole order, and which is a sum of all of the components prices added together, and then whether or not it is accepted. And then the receipt, of course, is the balance and amount paid for the customer. The other class, the one class that I did not do both a header and a CPP file for, is the printing class. I just did an inline class for that. I called it my printing just because Windows.h has a printing file in its library somewhere, and it was giving me errors. So it's simplified of just grabbing the driver, the default driver on the the user's computer, and it will default to their default printer. Of course, the dialog box, if you watch the first video, also gives them a chance to choose which printer it goes to and prints. So those are the classes that I have here. And the project class and the customer class are the two classes that I probably worked with the most within the main program. So the project class, not only does it have just a display, it's got display all, and then displays each vector separately, receipts, quotes, components, like that. So that I also have for the getters and setters, I have a get for the full vector, so you can get a pull a reference to the vectors that are in this class to iterate through. But it does not work to actually update those when you're iterating from the main program. You do actually have to update it from within the project class, which is where the updates, the update quotes is the only one that I really found I needed to update at this point. If we need to add something later at a later date for this project, this software, we can, but it does get, you do have to update that. The customer is also pretty similar to that. I had to do an update projects, but there is also a get projects to where you can actually get a reference to the vector within the customer class so that you can iterate through it from the main program. The main program also has its own methods. I have a, let's just jump to it. Let's see, a main menu. It shows the main menu. And this gives the normal four options. And then I've also got the submenu for the project menu. Once you open up the project, it brings up these options as well. The one thing I definitely do want to show you here is I actually, with the serialization, I am using XML. Not normal text files, it is XML files. So it's a little bit easier to read and easy to update as well. The two files, let's see, is load customers and inventory. The two files I have is customers.xml and inventory XML. I have two separate methods for loading and saving them within the main program. However, if you noticed on here, I only used the one serialize method that is described within the tutorial for serialization on the Boost website. So by using this one method, it allows for both in and out, rather than having to separate them. And I do want to show something real quick for you. Even though when you run this, you only see the four options for the end user. As an admin, there is a fifth option, which is an admin login. If you type 5, it'll ask for your username and their password. I did default to admin and password. This can be changed later in the actual program source file, but by logging in, it gives you the admin menu. You can view customers, view your inventory, and even add to your inventory, add or subtract to your inventory. So you can actually use the program to add to your inventory rather than actually updating it on the file side. So and viewing the customers and viewing the inventory, of course, just shows you on the screen what inventory you've already put into the file and what customers are saved into the file. So, and then of course, 4 takes you back to your main menu so that you can exit out to the program. I am going to show you the files here. So I should have already had this open, but this is in my Visual Studio projects right now. And okay, so the 2 files that we're looking at is Customers XML and Inventory XML. I use Notepad++, but you can actually use any text or XML editor that you have here. So the customers, because it has nested vectors, you will see the indentation here of each one. This first customer here actually has some of everything. So I could show you how it looks with everything. This is the general just customer information, and right here starts the project's vector, and it shows only one project is available here, and then it starts with the project. So here is the project, which is my my website I chose, and then it starts in with each of the nested vectors within it. The components, I have 2 components for that that project. So that's listed there. As you can see, each one is separated with the components tags. And then we've got the quotes, the 1 quote, and then receipts, which I have 2 receipts because they paid. You'll see here with the price that it is listed here after being saved. It looks like a long double, but when you actually update the file, you can actually update files with normal a double or floating value, so that we are used to writing ourselves. I would suggest adding customers with the project or with the software itself. The one that I that way it's a lot less messy, and for you to make sure. Now the inventory is a little bit more simple. You can easily add items to it. Okay, so each item is listed here with the item tags with an ID, name, and price. Okay, again, the price is shown here after being saved through the software. It looks like a long double, but you could actually add an item. Let's do, like, if I wanted to add a second item of chair, let's just put that. Okay, so and I would suggest, because in the software, the ID is actually all caps, so make sure that the ID is all in caps, and then you can name the do the name as regular. Okay, now here for the price, if you want to do a price of for this chair of $25, all you would have to do is just put $25. And the key thing here, though, because of the way the boost serialization is, it does keep account of how many items are in your list. So anytime you add an item to this list, you do need to update the count. Otherwise, if you forget to update the account, the program will crash when you go to access and load the inventory, which it does at the very beginning. So it will crash at that point with an error. So if you add something via the file here, it will actually do that. Okay, so now that I've updated it, let's see if I updated it correctly. Let's go in here. Okay, so let's just view the inventory and see it does show it here for $25, because I didn't add actually any cents to it. It just takes off the pointing value. So there you go, and I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you very much.